Hi, Sagittarius. Happy New Year. I'm Pam, and welcome to your Psychic Tarot reading for the year of 2015, plus the month of January. I received many requests for a reading for the year of 2015, and I thought to myself, I do readings every month that are really not just monthly readings. My guides really do talk about the entire year. If you've been following me since I started posting on YouTube, you will see that is true. So I decided I would give it a go. My guides are slightly resistant because they do like to say things in the manner in which they like to give me the messages. So I'm kind of pigeonholing them into timing by quarter. And they're slightly resistant, but hopefully you will find this video helpful. I also want to add here, any Sagittarians that have been watching me that feel like the messages I'm getting for these general readings that aren't making sense to you, the only way to get a reading specifically for you is to schedule a private reading with me. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that the messages that are going to come up for Sagittarians are going to make sense for all of you. So, that being said, I have divided the year up into quarters. So I have a card representing each quarter of the year. Plus, I pulled an additional card for the month of January, just January. And I'm going to conclude the reading with a card from the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck to cover the entire year. I also want to add here, if you're finding that any of these videos don't make sense to you, you could watch your rising sign. But to do that, you need to know the time of your birth and then either have your chart done by an astrologer or look it up on the internet. There are websites that do offer free charts that you could print out your own birth chart. So if you know the time and the city that you were born in, but your exact birth time, and you plug that in, you will be able to find out your rising sign. Because I do have people ask me sometimes that I can't calculate that for you. I'm not an astrologer. I'm a psychic medium, but I am doing general readings based on people's astrological signs. There's really no other way to do a general reading. So you may want to check your rising sign videos if you know what your rising sign is, if you find that your sun sign video isn't giving you any messages that make sense for you. So, Sagittarius, first quarter of the year, the card you have is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is a card to me that symbolizes having to make a choice or a decision. This could regard money or financial matters. It can also having to be making a choice about a love relationship. Even though it is a money card, there are emotions, undercurrent of emotions here with this card. This card can also symbolize seeking balance. If you're trying to discover things too hard and they're not coming to you easily or, flowing to you, then you need to stop and take a break and take a step back. Just take a pause. Just stop. I'm hearing that some of you Sagittarians are actually jumping to some conclusions about some things going on in your life. And I feel some of you don't really feel very secure about your financial position in this first quarter of 2015, which is January, February, and March. I feel that some of you are really going around in your mind about how you can elevate your status and your financial picture, how you can raise it up and bring it up. But I keep feeling like you're running into brick walls and roadblocks. And part of it, don't shoot the messenger, Sagittarius. part of it, I feel like you're creating some of these blocks yourself, because I feel that you have this sense of urgency, and so you want to control the situation and like push forward to make something happen, which is very noble and wise at times. But in many cases, doing that just creates frustration, roadblocks, and resistance. And in this particular situation with you, I feel that that's what's happening right now. So heed the words that the guides are saying. If this message makes sense to you, you'll know whether it does or not. Then you know you need to stop trying to force or control any issues. Get down off the ledge, like stop trying to freak out, try not to freak out, try not to get too upset. Just take a step back, and you need to think. You need to meditate and think. Try not to act or react in the first quarter of the year, especially where money matters, financial matters, or anything to do with, even if it's in a business sense, if they're connected to each other. Try not to force anything, because you're going to butt heads with people, you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to become frustrated, and you will kind of become your own worst enemy. So you have to really be careful in the first quarter of the year for some of you Sagittarians. I do feel that you have a great deal of empathy and compassion flowing to you right now, that there's some people that do have sympathy for your situation, and they don't want to see you struggle, and they would like to help you. Any of you that are married Sagittarians, I feel that your spouses may actually come in and lend you a helping hand or give you a boost up. If you're a working Sagittarius and your partner sees you struggling with your career, or you're not happy with, you deserve a raise and you didn't get one, or you got looked over for a promotion, I feel your spouse is sympathetic to you, for those of you that are married. For those of you that are not married, I still feel there's somebody in your life that wants to reach out and give you a helping hand and comfort. I feel you Sagittarians, a lot of you feel a great deal of pressure right now going into 2015. I feel that some of you have also been giving a lot of thought to having a new lease on life and starting over. This could very well be in the form of a new business, a new job, a new business venture. I do feel that you are going to be talking to people that are going to help you get out of the rut that you're in. I do feel that money is going to come flowing to you in the second quarter of the year. So try not to dismay if you are the financially struggling Sagittarians that are starting off the year with either work and or financial struggles, because I see once you get into the second quarter, you do have some money that's going to start flowing to you. Some of you have some anxiety because you feel like your job is teetering on the brink of either you're going to get fired, or that the business may be closing down or restructuring, and you might get, let go because they're cutting away positions and downsizing. And for some of you, that is actually correct. Not all of you, but some of you, there is a lot of disruption going on in regard to work. April's the highlighted time for you. See, my guides don't like being pigeonholed about time. I do get that there are some of you that are going to leave your job, but I feel that you will get gainfully employed and have a new outlook once you hit April, because that's what they say. So I do feel that some of you are, I don't want to say you're worrying needlessly, because obviously everybody is concerned about their job and how they make money. So I'm not passing it off like it's nothing, but worrying about it is not really going to solve it for you. And pushing forward, it's going to make you spaz. That's what I'm seeing. Like, you don't want to start acting like erratic or like off the handle because you're under too much stress and pressure. You need to collect yourself, gather your strength, take a step back, consider your options, start getting an exit strategy, because for even if you're not with the company that downsizes you out or restructures the internal structure of the company and you find yourself out, even if you're not that Sagittarius, but if you're the Sagittarians out there that got passed over for a promotion or got passed over for an increase in pay, you need to think about leaving this job anyway, because you're this isn't doing you any good. It's causing you too much disruption and turmoil. So even if it's something you've been doing for a long time and you feel comfortable there, like it's a company you've worked for a long time, it's still not making you happy. It's making you nervous and like wrung out. So you do need to start thinking about the future and making some plans, getting your resume in order, getting, maybe going to a headhunter, putting some feelers out with, some other businesses that you know of, or even think of going in a different direction with what you do for work is also possible too. Because the choices you make in 2015 are going to be a better benefit to you than if you keep trying to do the same old things that are causing you heartache and disruption and mental stresses and aggravations and pressures. I don't really see them changing. I feel it'll just continue on until you finally get sick of it, or the company folds or does something weird, and then you're standing there like, oh, what am I going to do now? So best to make your plans of some kind of exit strategy regardless. Now, if you are a happily, gainfully employed Sagittarian with none of these worries, then these messages don't apply to you. And again, this is the general reading, so I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's what I'm hearing in the beginning of the reading. So I just want to say, to get a reading specifically for you, you would have to have a private reading. But this is what I'm picking up for some Sagittarians out there in the first quarter of the year of 2015. Now, you do have other cards that are very promising here. This isn't even a negative card when you look at it by itself, but these are the messages my guides are telling me. Now, the next card you have in your reading today, Sagittarius, in the second quarter of the year, which would be April, May, and June, you have the Nine of Rods. And the Nine of Rods to me is a card that symbolizes being prepared and ready for battle, which is kind of interesting with some of the messages I was getting off of the first card. This is also a card that can symbolize being suspicious, having suspicions here. I hear that you are tired of the runaround. So I feel some of you Sagittarians are really fed up with the stresses that you've been put under and tired of getting the runaround. And that can be in love and romance and relationships of all kinds and business. I feel that you've been put under the microscope by some people. So it's kind of funny, even that this is a card of you being suspicious of others, I get that people have been examining you and what you're doing and thinking and saying. Oh, I get that you are determined not to fail. And I feel that many of you have really dug your heels in. And rightly you should, in many circumstances, to not let anybody throw you off your game, or and you should stand your ground. But also, on the same token, sometimes we have to know when to fold and walk away. So it's up to you, Sagittarius. I'm going to say, I told you what I got off of the first card. I feel you're going through some very karmic lessons right now. And I feel the karmic lessons are whether you're going to throw in the towel and go in a different direction, or whether you're going to stay and dig your heels in and fight. And that's going to be up to you. I can't make that call for you because there's way too many Sagittarians out there, and there's way too much karma in this situation for me to dissect it down as to what to do. I am just going to stick with what I told you on the previous card. My feeling is, if this is a work related issue, then I feel like you may be just banging your head against the wall needlessly. That in the long run, you'd be better off if you take a step back, don't try to control, don't struggle and fight, and just look in different directions while sitting in an idle position, not pushing forward aggressively, not getting combative, not making yourself stressed out and go, mentally crazy over what's happening. Just examine your options. That's my advice to you. But if you feel determined that you are not going to get thrown off your game and you're going to struggle and fight, there's not a darn thing I can say to you that's going to make you change your mind. So you just have to decide, because this is your karma that's coming up here. And you also don't want to project to people that you're behaving erratically. Because if there is anyone at your place of business that wants to point any fingers at you and, have anything to say of a negative nature at you, you do not want to give them any fuel for this fire that they could be saying. Because, when a company's changing or a business is changing, it's like a ship sinking. Every man for themselves. That can happen. And even if they're people you care about and like that have worked with for years and you have camaraderie and you think they would never do that to me, if they're feared up about what could happen to them or their position, and if it's going to be between them or you, they may cause you point some finger your way. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but if you are having some anxiety or fear about what's the future of your company, then I'm already speaking to you anyway, and you're going to understand what I'm talking about. Because I do see a female that is very determined on holding on tightly to her position. So she may want to cast a shadow on you with higher ups, because I do feel for some of you, not all of you, that some of you have, like, they're looking at everybody, not just you, but they're looking at you, and they're looking at this one, and they're looking at that one. So you don't want to look like you're somebody that might be difficult for them to contend with moving forward. I would just lay low is my advice to you here. I do feel that for many of you, an offer of some job is going to come up to you very unexpectedly, that's coming to you down the pike. That's what they're saying. And I feel it may be through some source that you already know, either a business or a company that you already know of, or you've dealt with in the past, or it's a friend of yours or some associate you used to work with that now works at this other company. But I am hearing that something is going to come down the pike. Some kind of job offer comes to you. I would look into that without making too much of a fanfare of it. Like, do it quietly, and I would even look into it first before talking to them there. Like, look what this company's about. What do they do? What's their promise of the future? What is your chances if you worked there of, would you be able to rise up in the ranks, or would you be able to have a stable and secure job there? That's something really to consider, but I do feel that something is going to be presented to you. It's like the heavens are going to be giving you some kind of blessing and gift. So stay tuned for that, Sagittarius. I feel that there is much anger and aggression behind the scenes at this place of business where you are now. Whether it's your own company, I really feel more like this is a company that you work for. I don't really feel this applies if this is your own business. This to me comes up like as if you are the employee with many other employees. But I get there's a lot of anger and aggression and debates and heated discussions going on behind the scenes and behind closed doors. I feel there's a lot of people that are angry and even some higher ups that are getting ready to get ousted out of there. So it's very, it's kind of a tense and tenuous place to be associated with, especially right now. This could involve a banking institution. It could be something that involves loans. I'm picking that up. There's part of this could be connected to that. I feel at this place of business, there was a lot of people that were upset, that were hoping for bonuses or some kind of increase in pay or something around the holidays, and they didn't get it. And they were counting on it, like people with families, with kids, and you may have been one of them. And that I just get it didn't happen, and so now everybody's walking on tenterhooks, and tiptoeing around, and and angry. I get a lot of anger and dissatisfaction here. If you're a Sagittarius that owns your own business, I feel that there may be some jealousy that is sparked internally for people that work for you. And you may have been trying to weed some people out of your company. So it depends on which Sagittarius you are. You could be the one owning the company that's weeding people out, or you could be the employee that is in danger of getting weeded out. I feel most of these decisions about who's staying and who's going, regardless of whether you're the business owner or whether you're the employee, will take place in the month of February. And for some of you, the company is going to change hands anytime between the months of February and July. That's if you're not the business owner, but you're the employee. But I do feel if you're the Sagittarius that's the business owner, I do feel that you're going to restructure your own business and change some things about it and turn some things around and revamp your own systems and internal systems. So just depends on which Sagittarius you are. Now, in the third quarter of the year, Sagittarius, which would be July, August, and September, you have the card of Two of Swords. And Two of Swords to me is a card that symbolizes being blocked. It's a stalemate. This could be an end of a relationship, an end of a job. This could just be you're being blocked. You're stuck in a spot. There's a lot of unknown going on here. See how she's blindfolded? There's things you don't know. And see the water, the emotions. There's a lot of undercurrent of emotions going on here as well. I feel for many of you Sagittarians, you're trying to decide what your next step ought to be. And I feel that you have your one foot in the door and one foot still back in where you are. I feel for some of you, you've actually made some plans, maybe even written them down and then erased them and started all over. Because I feel for some of you, you've been putting a lot of thought already into what you want to do, but that these plans keep changing. I feel like you're going through a cycle of change. I feel there's a great deal of frustration on your part and a lot of energy expended needlessly. You hate to be put on the back burner and you hate to be kept waiting. And unfortunately, this is what I feel for many of you Sagittarians have been happening. I feel, again, not to be redundant, but there's a great deal of pressure on you to make the next move. However, I feel that many of you just don't know anymore what's the right move to make next. I do feel many of you are determined to get some respect and satisfaction here. But again, it comes up over again. I feel that you have a great deal of empathy coming towards you. So there are people that care about you and are wishing you the best and hoping that things will turn out and be positive for you. So you do have some kind of emotional support here that could be coming from friends, family, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. I do get it. Now, whether you're acknowledging that or whether it matters to you right now, maybe it doesn't, or it's secondary because you kind of feel like you're on the hot seat. I feel like you just don't want to do this anymore. Like you're run down, you're tired, you should be enjoying the fruits of your labors and accolades, not being put to the test and through the ringer. That's what I'm getting. Wow. It just keeps coming up. So I really hope that this is going to make sense to some Sagittarians out here because this is very specific. I do have the feeling that you feel like that there's some people that would like to take away from you what you've worked so hard for. That doesn't always just have to be about work and finances. This could also be in love as well. So I'm hearing you're going through a metamorphosis and a change. You're determining and coming to conclusions about your true sense of self. And you are going to actualize that into being. You will be getting more acquainted with the new you and releasing any negative patterns or things that were the old you. If you're somebody that's trying to discover things or find things out that have been kept hidden from you, I feel the highlighted time of you finding any information out that you seek really coming to you. May and June seem to be the highlighted points, even though this is the third quarter card. That's what my guides are telling me. Now, in your fourth quarter of the year, which is October, November, and December, you have a good card, which thank goodness, because I wasn't real happy for you with the other cards. You have the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is one of the best relationship cards you can get in the deck. To me, this is a spiritual bond, a spiritual union between two people that is fate. It's meant to be. I feel that in 2015, your love life will be on a spiral upward. For those of you that are single, I feel that in the end of the year, you may be with someone that you're going to end up spending the rest of your life with. In December of 2015, you could get engaged, or right when the year changes from 2015 to 2016. I also feel for some of you Sagittarians that were waiting for somebody to come back that you'd been with before and been broken up and heartbroken and felt that you really were meant to be together. I feel that in this fourth quarter, that person could very likely make a return to your life. And that for some of you that this is the case, you will have the opportunity to rekindle that romance that you had with that person. If it was a male that left, he had a lot of decisions to make and he had a lot on his plate and a lot on his mind. And some of his decisions had to do with He very likely could have been married to somebody else, or he was going through a divorce. He had his children on his mind, um, and also his financial picture, his job and his finances that were all tied and linked together. So for some of you Sagittarians, this is somebody that is a male that is going to return. That was broken, that you two parted, but his circumstance was very complicated and difficult. He couldn't commit to you fully at the time. I feel if it's a female Sagittarius that's returning, she attempted to have a relationship with someone else because she thought that person was going to be better for her, and it didn't work out at all, and she sees it as a mistake. So it just depends on which Sagittarius you are, because for some of you, it's a return of someone that you were with before that comes back, and you rekindle, you'll have the chance to rekindle that romance and possibly get engaged or be together with that person as your life partner. If that's not the case, I feel wow, it's all over the map again with the Sagittarians. Either you meet the person that's new, and you're going to end up being the partner of your dreams, but I feel like you are going to meet them right at the very, very, very end of the month of December, or possibly in January of 2016. That's the new person coming in. Old love's returning. To me, it's December, mid-November through all of December, the old love returning. For those of you that are already with someone, that it's a fairly new love relationship and it's already started, I feel that you're going to get engaged in the month of December, or make that lifetime commitment to each other, whether you get married and actually have a ceremony, or you just have decided we're life partners whether we get married or not, is in that time frame. So it just depends on which Sagittarius you are. Now, for the month of January, just January, I pulled one card, and you have the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups to me is a card that is wish fulfillment. This is all good things coming to you in an emotional sense. See, I feel like your cup is going to run over with love, good tidings and love. The struggles I see for you are not to do with that. I see any blocks, stumbling blocks or roadblocks or obstacles to do with money, work relate, job and money issues. Love, I'm not really seeing that being a problem for Sagittarians in the year of 2015. I do feel, though, I'm going to say this, in the fourth quarter of the year, I do also feel that you are going to have a chance to have some real financial abundance. So for those of you that are going to leave your job and start a new job, or whether you own your own business and you revamp it, regardless, it doesn't matter. I get money really comes to you like right in the fourth quarter. So I feel like that's some abundance of your love and relationships. I really feel like the fourth quarter is an excellent quarter for you in the year of 2015. Even the third quarter does have some promise in it as well. The beginning of the year, to me, it looks rockier because of work or money issues. But this card did show up for January. See, I feel that you're going to have some people that want to please you in the month of January. They want to take you out. They want to see you smile. They want you to have a good time. They want to lift you up. They want to bolster your ego. So whether this is friends, family, loved ones, it could be, a love partner. whoever this is, you do have love and support and good emotions coming to you, even though I feel you may have some, frustrations and upset in some other areas. I'm hearing from my guides that any changes that you decide to make in the year of 2015, that you are going to be very, very happy that you did. It is a year of joy and abundance at times, especially towards the end, and that when you go into the year of 2016, you are going into that year with a bang. So there is some real promise this year, and for love and romance and finances and job. I just see the uncertain parts of it look to me like any frustration or anger or upsetment seems to be in the beginning. But you close the year with a roar. So a happy roar, not a negative roar. Now, for your outcome card of the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck for the year of 2015, for the entire year, you got Angel of Manifestation. It's an excellent one for you, considering some of the messages that came out in this reading. And this says, your efforts, determination, and perseverance have paid off. I hear you really rose and are rising to the challenges and overcoming them. And I do feel that you have a lot to be thankful for. And I also am picking up, they're saying abundance of all good things and fortune and good fortune coming to you this year. So I'm a little, I feel a little rattled about your reading, but it is a bit of a mixed bag from my perspective. But the spirit guides are telling me off this card that this is a year of very good fortune for you. I feel you're also going to be able to get some of the burden off of you and not have to shoulder all of the responsibilities, and you're going to be able to hand over some of your burdens and responsibilities to others and lessen your load. And if you haven't done it yet, you might want to think about it. But I feel some people are just going to come in and do it and be there to support you and help you. They tell me that Sagittarius has a great mind, and you're one of the best thinkers of the zodiac. They're saying do your best not to slip, falter, or fall, and try not to point the finger of blame to anyone else. Everyone's true colors will show in due time. They're telling me if you feel like God has taken anything away from you, it's been done for a reason so that other things can show up. They're telling me 2015 is a year for you to take a lot of plans and inspiration and rock forward into 2015 with a lot of success and good fortune. You've been put through the ringer long enough, so now it's time for you to enjoy. So, I'm a little confused, because I do feel like you have a good year in a lot of ways, but they're telling me to tell you not to be afraid to hand over the reins to someone else, to take a step back and let other people step forward and shoulder the responsibility, because they will also shoulder the blame. So maybe that message will help you if this makes sense to anything that I talked about earlier in the reading. If you're one of the people that has trouble going on in the workplace, if your business is going through a lot of upheavals. So I hope that reading was of some help to you, Sagittarians. I'd like to invite you to go to my Facebook page, The Lucky Mermaid LLC. And if you go to my wall, make sure to like my page if you haven't already done so. I'm going to have a way that you can contact me and get 2 of your questions answered. If you don't see it right at the top of my wall, make sure you scroll down because I do post things every day. I can repost it again, but I'm probably only going to post it on my wall twice between now and January 15th. So go to my wall and check it out, and maybe I can answer some of your questions, 2 of your questions, and you just need to follow the directions that I'm going to post there. And also, please don't forget to follow me on Twitter, and my Twitter address is at the Lucky Mermaid. So I want to say, Sagittarius, thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you for sharing them and for liking them. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for Google Plusing. I do appreciate you and know that I wish you many blessings and peace.